Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Lachlan. This is where I create bookish content, so if you like that kind of thing, you should totally subscribe. In today's video, I'm going to talk about how I annotate my books, some examples to show you guys, as well as the materials and things that I use to annotate. I kind of wanted to do this video to celebrate 1,000 subscribers and just say thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and for watching my videos and liking and commenting. Thank you so much for 1,000 because it means so much. Annotating is something that I haven't always done. At some point in my
reading journey,
I decided that I wanted to start like capturing my favorite quotes and favorite moments and things like that. So that's kind of how it started, and then it progressed into more detailed annotating, but it's still not like a super difficult level of annotating or anything like that. I think anybody can do it. As long as you have the desire to do it, that's really all that you need to get started. I have two pouches for my annotating materials. This one and then this one holds all of my like excess, basically my overflow of materials. In this notebook, this is what I use to like make notes in, but I'll show you that more detailed in a second. So for my tabs, I use these. These are from Amazon. I've gone through so many of these. This is what they look like once you have used all of them up. You can see in this one, this is the color that I like the least. It's this yellow one, so I use it the least. So I just have like some left over. But yeah, this is what they look like and I really like them. So I'll just show you like the visibility. So they're pretty clear. I don't like the ones that have like shapes to them. I don't really like how they look. I just like the square ends. And they come in these little packets and there's like two or three in each. I think there's 3 in each depending, and they're not expensive. I think maybe like $10 for 1,500 tabs, which can last me like 2 to 4 months depending. And then this is the bookmark that's hanging down. Okay, so as far as like highlighters and pens go, so I use different highlighters, but the thing is I'm still trying to find highlighters that I really love, because the ones that I've purchased in the past couple years just do not last. I bought, let's see, these Mr. Pen highlighters not even a month ago and they're already out. These Mr. Pen ones with this like mustache thing on them, I do not recommend. And then the purple one is way too dark. My favorite pens to use for like underlining and writing in my books would definitely have to be these, I think it's pronounced Sarasa. These are amazing, you guys. So they don't really bleed through unless you like go over it more than one time. They can bleed through the page, but honestly, like, I don't really care about bleed through. Like, I'm just not one of those people who really cares. But these do a pretty good job of not bleeding through. It's got like just like a fine tip. I just really like how they draw on the page. My favorite pen for like writing just like general things, or if I'm not in the mood for like a color, I'll underline in black. And it's this Uniball Gel Grip Pen. But unfortunately I've run out of ink on this one. Now this one does definitely bleed through. I don't really recommend using it. I just like how thick the line is on this pen, so I'll probably have to get another one because I also use this one, but I don't like how thin the line is, this Uniball Signo. And then I also use like these little sticky notes for if I want to write something in there that I don't necessarily want to have in the book, I'll write it on these tiny notepad things and then stick it in the book. I keep all my annotating, like these are my favorite colors to use. Green, orange, pink. I also have a yellow one but it's literally ran out because I really like the yellow. So yeah, these are my favorite colors. I'll show you in a second my like guide or legend that I use for what each color means. And this pouch is where all of my overflow, like colors that I don't really use that much. They're pastel-y, and I do like pastel, but the way that these show up on the page is just not my favorite. I do prefer retractable highlighters just because it makes it easier whenever you're trying to go fast. But I got these off of Amazon and I don't like this brand. It's called Tech, and they died really quickly. They didn't last me maybe like a month. So Sharpie, probably the next packet of highlighters that I buy will probably be Sharpie, just because these last me the longest. I just want to buy the retractable ones because that's what I prefer. More notepads. And this one I also keep my AirPods. They say my name on them, but yeah, I love my AirPods and I just keep them in this pouch because I'll have them with me all the time. So this is the notebook that I have my legend in. I treat annotating differently for different genres. So like fantasy, I am normally pretty strict with my annotating colors that I use, but then romance, you'll see in a minute that I'm not. So for yellow, I do characters, like new characters that are introduced or when a character is described or something like that. Green, this lime green is for scenery or world building. Blue is strictly for sad moments, like that's the same for romance or fantasy. Purple, same thing, favorite quotes. I keep that strictly to favorite quotes. And then this bright pink is love romance for like a relationship moment, like a cute moment. Orange is something that made me question or like got me curious, like wondering if it's like a foreshadow. So I use orange for that. And then green, this dark green, is for important pivotal moments, important plot moments, or just something that I think is really significant in the book. This darker pink is for things that I find amusing or funny. Red is for something that either made me angry or like a really big, like, oh shit, stressful moment. I kind of switch it up when it comes to romance. Sometimes I'll use it for like an important pivotal moment, kind of switch up the red and the green sometimes, just depending. And then this light pink one, it's like a very baby pink. I use this for whenever I want to make a note or if something annoys me, or like honestly this is just like a very miscellaneous color. I use it for anything that doesn't really fit in these sections here. I just have like some notes in here. Like if I'm really feeling like I want to take notes, the colors do not really mean anything in this notebook. It's just kind of to separate my thoughts. But yeah, I'll do this sometimes if I really want to take notes on the book that I'm reading. Like for Empire of the Vampire, I took almost 4 whole pages just for that book. And then sometimes it's just like very short. But okay, so I'll show you the different methods of annotating that I've used. When I first started, I just like underlined things, and then I put this legend here for the meaning of each color. And like, I just underlined things. Yes, I do write in my books, no shame. In the deal, I absolutely love this book, but like I didn't really highlight at all. I pretty much only tabbed, and I tried to stick with like the aesthetic, and I don't normally do that, but I do it with like romance sometimes. And then in this book, like I only used yellow highlighter, but I used all different colored tabs. That's one way to do it. Like if you just want to use one color, you can totally do that. I tried the method where you just kind of don't really show the tabs. Like they're not really like sticking out very far. And that's not my favorite. My tabs do stick out. Okay, and then another way to go. So if the book is like dual point of view, I will use one color for a female if it's like a male and a female. I'll use one color for female and then another for male. So like in this one I gave Reich orange. So when it was his point of view, I highlighted everything in orange. And then it was Daisy's, I highlight everything in pink. But the tabs, I just went with my like typical color guide. So like blue for sad, purple for favorite quotes. And I don't like to tab it like on top of the highlight, so I'll do it like a little bit above or below. And then, yeah, so I do try and make sure that like all of my tabs are the same length. It takes it like a few more seconds to make sure. Like I actually put it on there and then I close the book to see if they line up. It's extra. And I've read this book twice, so it's very, very annotated. I really do try to limit my tabs, but sometimes I'm just not able to. Sometimes I'll like underline and highlight. I'll put like if I start crying, here it says bawling, and I'll like circle words. If I think certain words are like really kind of significant, I'll circle them. Oh, I always put these little eyeballs for like spicy scenes. But yeah, sometimes my highlighting doesn't really match my like color guide, but that's okay. It gets a little bit chaotic. As long as I keep my tabs to the color guide, then it all makes sense to me. But yeah, sometimes I just go with like vibes as far as what color I'm using to highlight. I'll do things like this just because I think it's really cute, and it's like a reward when you go back and reread. I think it's just like really fun to see what you know, doodled in and stuff. But I think this is probably my most annotated book. So yeah, I really don't like my tabs to be like sticking out that far. I think in the deal, this book here is where they stick out the most. And that's probably the longest that I like my tabs to stick out. And then in this one you can see like they barely stick out. This is not my favorite like way of doing it, because I do like to like see the tabs outside of the book once I've done it. One piece of advice that I can give is if you're first starting out your annotating, start reading a book first, unless you've read it before and then you know that you love it. Read at least 50 pages minimum before you make any mark in the book. You don't want to market a book that you're gonna hate, and then you're gonna want to get rid of that book, and then you can't really like get any money for it because you've highlighted or marked in it. That's something that I learned the hard way. I used to, like when I first started annotating, I would just like immediately right off the bat start highlighting and underlining in books, and I eventually realized I don't want to do that anymore. So if I'm not liking a book, I'll just use the sticky notes and write on those, and I'll maybe tab it if I really want to. There are no rules to this. Like I think in high school, whenever we're told to annotate, we're supposed to like pick out all of these literary things and like meanings and symbolism and foreshadowing and all of that kind of stuff. You don't have to do that. You can literally just like highlight your favorite quotes, favorite moments, characters, things like that. Like it can be super simple. It doesn't have to be very complex. If you want to stick to one color, go for it. You don't have to use all of these different color highlighters. You can literally just start with a pen and like some sticky notes if you want to. I do like mine to be like aesthetically pleasing, so I'm pretty particular about it. But you don't have to be like that at all. You can just like do what feels good. It definitely helps when you love a book. That's when I annotate the most. I'm going to link below the tabs that I use, and I'm not going to link below the highlighters because like I'm telling you guys, you do not want these highlighters. I've literally had them 2 weeks and they're already out. So I don't recommend. But I do recommend these Sharpie highlighters, so I'll link those below. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. If you made it this far, you can leave like one of those like notebook with a pen emojis. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.